Donovan McNabb. I think the play calling has been fine from Andy Reid. The quarterback has to execute it. It looks like there's some confusion right now as about what personnel should be on the field. They're very late getting out of the huddle.
3rd down and 6 from the 24. Brent Selleck, the rookie tight end, number 87 in the lineup. Lined up to the left. And there is a whistle and a penalty, and Bill Carollo, our referee, will explain, and you kind of tracked that confusion seconds ago.
Well, noise is going to be a factor. Dealing with the noise in the dome is hard.
Philadelphia, prior to the delay of game. That's the first team charge timeout.
The shot clock was running down, and they managed to call the timeout.
30-second timeout. Before
it ran out, but you were right on this. The Eagles were confused way before that play was run.
But look where the 25-second play clock is. It's the only stadium I've seen. It's hard to find. It's up in that mezzanine level up there, and I don't know if Donovan could find it or see it when he was at the line. A lot of times quarterbacks will look at the clock and they'll adjust the cadence according to what it says on the clock. I don't know if he saw it.
Well, when the quarterback comes out for pregame warmups, doesn't he check that out?
Well, I just think that right now it looked like Donovan had trouble finding it. That timeout called by Andy Reid as the time clicked off, but I think it started with confusion about personnel getting on the field. But that's going to be a story today. Dealing with the noise in a dome, even though they're a very veteran offensive line, just getting communication and on and off the field is a factor.
So after the first timeout, 3rd down and 6 once again for the Eagles. McNabb, and the pass intended for Curtis, and a flag goes down, and it was Cedric Griffin downfield who might have been in the face of Kevin Curtis. And one thing was apparent, that he wasn't really tracking the ball when he went downfield.
Well, he was looking at Kevin Curtis and not the ball.
Pass interference, 23. Defense, automatic first down, spot of the foul.
And the Eagles are going to go after this matchup all day today. Cedric Griffin is a rookie. Kevin Curtis gives him a good head fake inside, gets off the line cleanly. It wasn't a good throw, but in man coverage, when the defensive back is looking at the receiver, it is good to have the ball underthrown. Now, the pressure on Donovan McNabb affected that throw.
William Thomas was pushed into him, and a 23-yard penalty, matching the number of Griffin. And there is Bryant Westbrook with his first carry of the game, and gets about a yard on the play. And so you can expect a lot of Westbrook today, and perhaps more as a receiver flanked outside than he has in the past.
Well, Minnesota is very tough to run against inside. They have the Williams brothers. Pat Williams there, next to him Kevin Williams. These guys, a lot of teams don't even try to run the ball inside. The Eagles went right at them, and they've got good people to attack them with. Sean Andrews and Jamal Jackson has the size to attack them inside.
2nd down and 8. Jason Avant in motion, and they run the ball, and down he goes. Westbrook is tackled by Pat Williams before he could get underway. No gain, bringing up 3rd down.
Well, I mean, here's Pat Williams here. He's in a cocked nose. He's on Jamal Jackson here. This guy has rare lateral quickness. Beats the down block by Todd Harrimans, and then is there to stuff it in the backfield. And he comes out on 3rd downs, and they put pass rushers in there.
So 3rd down and long, 3rd and 8 for the Eagles. And the Viking fans are looking for a 4th down play. McNabb scrambling, firing, and the pass incomplete. Selleck was in position. The pass wasn't that accurate, and it was unable to be held, and that will bring up 4th down.
It wasn't caught by Brent Selleck, and it should have been. But that was a good play by Donovan McNabb. That looked like McNabb. His ability here to avoid pressure. They only rushed 5. Ben Lieber on the outside. Now he takes off. This is what McNabb can do. Kind of extend a play. That ball should have been caught by Selleck. It should have been a 1st down. That didn't help their quarterback out.
Sav Rocca will be kicking, and Bobby Wade back deep for the Vikings. Wade at the 9. And a good bit of running by Bobby Wade as he brings it out to the 21-yard line. A return of 12, so Minnesota Vikings and Kelly Holcomb go on offense for the first time when we come back to the Metrodome. And welcome back to Minneapolis. And Kelly Holcomb, the 11-year veteran, that is his record as a starter. 0-2 this year as a starter, losing to Kansas City and Green Bay as the Vikings lost by a total of 10 points. Minnesota starting from the 21, and here's Adrian Peterson. And Peterson picks up a couple of yards on his first play of the game.
In the spotlight for the Vikings today, it starts with Kelly Holcomb, who's just making his 25th career start in 11 seasons, his third this year for the Vikings. And Adrian Peterson, just saw him carrying the first play, leads this league in rushing. He is now their starting tailback, and Kevin Williams on defense makes this defense go. He makes the defense special with his playmaking ability up front.
So Peterson starting, and not because of any injury, but getting the nod finally and getting the call here, and the Eagles are right there with a minimal gain of 1 yard, and Broderick Bunkley makes the play. Right now for a game break, let's return to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Well, Baldy was talking about the running back making an offense special. How about Steven Jackson of the Rams? He scores their first rushing touchdown of the year coming back from that groin injury, and they lead Cleveland 7-0. Another update in 7 minutes or less. Dick and Baldy.
All right, bedraggled Rams strike first, Brian.
Well, Cleveland's got the 32nd ranked defense in football. If they're not going to move it against the Browns, they're not going to get it done this year.
3rd down and 9, and Chester Taylor makes his first appearance in the lineup. And Holcomb gets some time and completes the pass to Sidney Rice, the rookie from South Carolina. Flag goes down late from upfield. It will be a first down pending the call. And Quinton Michael, the safety who's starting once again for Brian Dawkins for the 5th straight game, making the play.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 27, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See, all right, tackled by Will James. And here comes Quinton Michael here, and they're saying that he was down on the ground when he came and put the shoulder into him. So he's about a second late right there, and probably a good call, but a costly call.
12 yards plus the penalty tacked on, and a first down for the Vikings on their 49. Adrian Peterson comes back in the game. Play fake to Peterson, and Holcomb going deep and overthrows Asante Shanko, the tight end, downfield, and that's one of the targets that the Vikings want to get the ball to more this week.
Dick, one of the ironies of today's game is Kelly Holcomb. I mean, he got signed by the Eagles back in February. Came in, first time he's ever been in a West Coast system in his life. And Andy Reid was up front with him. When they drafted Kevin Cobb with their first pick, they said, look, we're gonna keep you. We're gonna continue to keep you. We're gonna see how Donovan is. If he's healthy, we'll get you to a team that will allow you to play. Here he is in the Vikings playing against Andy Reid and the Eagles. In
exchange for a 6th round draft pick, 2nd down and 10, and a pass thrown underneath to Bobby Wade, who's hit and tackled immediately at the 45 of the Eagles, a gain of 6.
Andy Reid liked Kelly Holcomb. He thought he was funny, but he thought he picked up the offense very quickly. So whatever success he has in this offense today, a lot of it was because of his offseason program he spent with the Eagles, learning the terminology, having Andy work with him, Marty Morningway working with him every single day. He was what they call a quick study. And going against the Jim Johnson defense, a guy he was associated with during his days with the Indianapolis Colts. Correct. 3rd down and 4. Wade coming toward the line, and the pass is batted down at the line, but there's a flag thrown. You can see it at the 47, and it'll be an offsides penalty against the Eagles, and that would give the Vikings a first down.
Offside, 24, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Sheldon Brown, costly penalty there.
Yeah, you're going to see Sheldon Brown is right here. And he is across the ball here. So he lined up all sides trying to get that jam on Sidney Rice. That's the 2nd defensive penalty on this drive. The defense that is still probably feeling its way after that horrendous collapse in the final minute and 50 seconds against the Bears last week.
Right now, the Eagles' offense and defense both seem shaky as Adrian Peterson breaks one. Peterson inside the 30 and dives inside the 25. Great piece of running by the rookie. Sheldon Brown finally puts an end to it after a 16-yard gain as the Vikings threaten to the 26 of the Eagles.
Anything that you've heard about Adrian Peterson to this point isn't enough. This guy is the best back in football, and there's nobody even close to him. Right there, he made that run himself. His own physical talent, his strength, the ability to break tackles, and if he gets to the open space, he can hit it in a blink and get to the end zone. 224
yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bears put him on the map. And now everyone knows about Peterson. This time he is ganged up on, led by Takeo Spikes and picking up only 1.
What he has accomplished in 6 games is no mistake. Nobody in the league has been able to create the length of touchdowns that he has. We saw the ones a couple weeks ago against Chicago, Dick, 73-67. First time he touched the ball in the NFL in a receiving game. Caught a pass against Atlanta for his first catch, went 60 yards. 35 yards against Chicago, and then 20 last week against the Cowboys in his homecoming game in Dallas.
Only carried 12 times, and that's amazing for a man of this talent. And this time he goes outside where he wants to be, and Peterson, with his head down, churning to try to get the first down, knocked out of bounds, shy of that by Sean Considine, but he gets 8 yards.
Watch this. I want you to freeze it here. As they roll this, you freeze it right here. He wants his shoulders to be going the same angle as his offensive line. Everybody always says square the shoulders up. That's not what they want him to do. They want him to go the same angle as the line. And then, once he gets to the open space, now square it up and go run over the safety, Sean Considine.
3rd down and 1. Vikings first possession, and this is the 9th play. And they go to Peterson. Adrian Peterson with the first down, protecting the ball as he gets inside the 10. It takes several Eagles led by Chris Gokong, but another 8-yard play, and it's 1st and goal for the Vikings.
No, we talked to Adrian Peterson this week, and he's such a great kid to talk to. He's a football player. He grew up, he loves the game. And the fact is that this is a guy that doesn't fatigue. Eagles trying to strip the ball here. Lito Shepard trying to grab it, but he's got 2 hands on it, and it's the strongest grip in the NFL, the strongest handshake and the strongest hands you'll ever shake.
The Vikings are in the red zone, believe it or not, for only the 7th time this season. 1st and goal, and here's Chester Taylor. And Taylor is dropped immediately by Trent Cole, and a loss on that play of 2.
Well, Brad Childress brought both Chester Taylor and Adrian Peterson into a one-on-one or a private meeting this week on Thursday and said that nothing against Chester Taylor. You've got a role. You'll be our nickel back. But Adrian Peterson is our starter. And really, he should have been all along. I mean, he's got indisputable talent. It shows up immediately. And one thing Jim Johnson was worried about was if you've never seen this speed live before, it catches you by surprise how fast he is.
2nd and goal from the 9. Holcomb looking to throw and gets the touchdown to Shanko. Nine-yard strike from Kelly Holcomb to Visante Shanko, and you couldn't draw up a better drive than the Vikings just executed.
There's a 2 tight end set right here. They wanted to get the tight ends more involved in the offense, and that's what the Eagles have wanted to do, get the ball to the tight end like that. Kelly Holcomb knows that, playing for Andy Reid in the preseason, offseason, and now they're incorporating the high-priced tight end in their offense.
First touchdown catch of the year by the former New York Giant, and Ryan Longwell on for the extra point, and it's good, and the Minnesota Vikings on their first possession, a very impressive drive, take a 7-0 lead over the Eagles. The Vikings draw first blood against the Eagles, lead at 7-0. And this is the scoring drive. 11 plays, 79 yards. Shanko with a 9-yard catch. And Peterson, 34 yards and 6 carries. And that comes out to nearly 6 yards.
Look at this.
And an onside kick. And it's anyone's ball. And the Vikings have it. The Vikings recover the onside kick. And they had 2 chances before they got it. That's Brad Childress' surprise for Andy Reid.
Yeah, and they caught the Eagles napping here. You can see, watch the Eagles, they're dropping just a little bit. They caught him by surprise. The Vikings could have caught that ball in the air there. But there's Heath Farwell. He's the captain of the special teams. He's the trailer. He's just looking for the loose ball. And Brad Childress just put one up on the old mentor there.
First down at the 48. The Vikings are in Eagle territory, trying to build on the momentum, and Holcomb gets sacked way back there, and a great defensive play by Trent Cole, and that is his 8th sack of the year. And right now for a game break, let's return to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Well, they say the best way to beat Indy is to keep them off the field. Carolina does that. An 11-minute, 18-play, 80-yard drive to open it up. Deshaun Foster caps it with a short touchdown run. It's 7-0. Dick and Baldy.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. And that's why Trent Cole was in the spotlight to start this game, and that was a huge sack, a loss of 9 yards, setting the Vikings back to their own 43. 2nd and 19. Holcomb trying to get some of that back, and a risky pass to Bobby Wade, and Sheldon Brown, if it had been in the right place, would have gone to the house with that one.
You know, I was just watching Trent Cole on the sack and what he's done so far this year. And there's some guys that are just pass rushers in this league, and Trent Cole is one of those guys. He'll get underneath the pads on Bryant McKinney today and give him fits. But in the run game, he plays with such leverage. I'm going to tell you this. Size doesn't matter in this league if you play the game with leverage. Trent Cole gives up almost 100 pounds to Bryant McKinney, but he will back him up and give him problems. See, that's why they have a tight end over there helping him out now.
He's having a brilliant year, is Trent Cole. 3rd down and 19, and a flag is down. It could be a free play. Kleinsasser on the receiving end is down. 2 flags are down at the sidelines of both teams, and the preliminary signal offsides against Philadelphia. A 10-yard pickup. Penalty is against the Eagles. At least one of them is.
There's the offsides. Jaquay Thomas got a quick jump, the left end for the Eagles.
And Andy Reid showing a little bit of anger on the Eagles sideline.
Well, that's a 3rd defensive penalty in the first quarter here today for him.
Offside, defense, 75, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
So Thomas on the penalty, and right now in this game with just under 6 minutes to go in the first, it's been dominated on both sides of the ball by the Vikings.
And you know, and Andy Reid did something this week that's a little unusual. He brought the team in after that horrendous defeat to Chicago into practice on Monday, and he thought it was important to flush that game out of their systems, because when you give up a 97-yard drive against what is supposed to be a good defense, it can really get inside their heads. And so he wanted to try and flush it, start concentrating on this week's game. And I think right now the defense is trying to make too many plays to compensate for what happened at the end of last week.
Well, Brian, both these teams are 2-4, and the loser is going to be in big trouble the rest of the way. They fake the inside handoff, and Holcomb will be called for intentional grounding. Lito Shepard on the cornerback blitz came in and dumped Holcomb, who got rid of it. It would be a 16-yard loss, but the flag as well, and a loss of downs, so they'll be kicking it here.
All right, intentional grounding, number 13 on the offense. It'll be 4th down at the spot of the foul.
This is the box.
Includes a loss of down.
This is a box that Kelly Holcomb has to get out of just to dump the ball and get it away. Eagles run a zone blitz here. Jaquay Thomas comes from the inside and Lito Shepard from the outside. He was just trying to dump the ball to avoid the sack, and that's the right call. Good design of that blitz by Jim Johnson.
That's what Jim Johnson is all about. And you're always going to see a blitz you never saw before. Chris Cluey, who has just signed to a 6-year extension on the punt, and Reno Mahe at the 13, returning for the Eagles. The Eagles haven't really broken one in the punt return department this year. They got 13 yards on that one, and we'll get the ball when we come back to Minnesota with the Vikings up by 7. Good defensive stop by the Eagles after the onside kick. And Donovan McNabb has his team out to the 26-yard line. First down. L.J. Smith, who is scheduled to start and play today, has yet to see action. Matt Schobel started at tight end. Brent Selleck, the rookie, is in there right now. And first down for McNabb, 1 for 3 for only 4 yards on his first possession of the game. McNabb stepping up and will be stopped at the 29-yard line. Kevin Williams tackles him from behind, and Tavares Jackson, of course, not playing today with a fractured right index finger on his throwing hand. They call it an avulsion, and that's why he's sidelined.
Yeah, his right index finger is either taped today just to chart the plays. He's got that finger wrapped up. So, I mean, Tavares Jackson has been compared to Donovan McNabb as Brad Childress. That was his first pick, just like McNabb was Andy Reid's first pick. And that's what they're trying to build the offense around. L.J.
Smith is in the game now on 2nd down and 7, and Brian Westbrook picks up 2 yards, and Antoine Winfield, the cornerback, on the play.
Antoine Winfield is the best tackling cornerback in football. He's going to be coming in from the side here, and he is almost unblockable. Receivers can't get on him. Hank Baskett is the Eagles' best blocking wide receiver, and Winfield literally threw him aside and shot low to make that play. If you're going to run the ball to the outside, you're much better going to the left at Cedric Griffin.
As it is, the Vikings are second in the NFL at stopping the run, so that's nothing new for them. It'll be 3rd down and 5. McNabb, and a catch is made by Greg Lewis, and Lewis gets down to the 20-yard line. A great throw by Donovan McNabb and a 49-yard gain, and the Eagles have a first down at the 20.
An excellent call by Andy Reid, because this is what he got. He got E.J. Henderson coming back here to cover this slot receiver, Greg Lewis. It's a mismatch. It's all about matchups. Andy Reid got Greg Lewis, a little thought about receiver with the Eagles offense right now against the middle linebacker, and clearly won that matchup, and one of the best throws by McNabb all season.
Officially 50 yards, the second longest of the year by the Eagles, and Westbrook going up the middle gets to the 14 and a gain of 5. So this is where all eyes are on the Philadelphia Eagles in the red zone, where they have struggled mightily all year.
And not just struggled, but it's been the difference between them being 2-4 and maybe 4-2 and 5-1. I mean, they lost last week's game against Chicago because they couldn't convert. And you could say the Redskins and the Green Bay Packers game as well. It's the play caller Marty Morningweg right there. And when you pick up 6 yards on first down in the run game, it helps.
2nd down and 5, Westbrook, and he runs right into Pat Williams. And no gain, maybe a yard is all, and that will bring up 3rd down and about 5.
Well, here's Pat. We circle him already. You can circle him every time he's in there. If you're going to run at the Vikings, that is a hard place to run for a couple of reasons. One, you've got Kevin Williams inside. And then 2, the reason why they're one of the worst pass defenses in football is their linebackers sell out against the run to stop it. And so play-action pass is huge at this part of the field and against this defense.
And this play is huge for the Eagles, who need to get inside the 9 to keep the drive going. And this pass is caught by Matt Schobel at the 2. And the Eagles will have a 1st and goal. And Schobel, who caught a touchdown pass last week with 5 minutes to go against the Bears, a lead that the Eagles relinquished, puts the Eagles in great shape here.
And tight end is a position that the Vikings have a hard time covering. 48 catches by tight ends against this team the first 6 games of the season because they give up so much. Now there's L.J. Smith. Watch him on this play here.
12-yard pass setting this up. Carell Buckhalter, and nothing doing. Trying to go off right tackle. And under a minute and a half remaining. It'll be 2nd down and goal after that play. No gain.
You know what they call that, Dick? They call that a tough way to make a living. That is a tough way to make a living, running inside against those guys. You're not going to move them, and the linebackers really are there to support them and help them. Play-action pass and getting the ball to the outside is the way to defeat this team in the end zone, in the red zone here.
That's Hank Baskett, number 84, lined up as a single receiver up at the top. Westbrook is back in the game. Play action. And here is McNabb, and McNabb trying to get it to Schobel. And if he had caught it, he would have been at the 2-yard line. And good coverage by Ben Lieber, the linebacker. So that will bring up 3rd and goal.
The Eagles' tallest wide receiver and best jumper is Hank Basket. And we just circled him there, Dick. And Andy Reid doesn't like to throw fade routes. You know, that's where you get the one-on-one matchup and you just throw a jump ball. But he said Donovan doesn't really throw the ball that well like that. He doesn't throw a good fade route. And then the receivers don't run him very well, so they don't call him.
9th play of this drive. Brown going in motion. McNabb on 3rd down and incomplete. L.J. Smith, the intended receiver, way at the back of the end zone. And Chad Greenway, the linebacker, doing a good job bringing up 4th down. And once again, the Eagles can't get a TD in the red zone.
And they had the player open. They had L.J. in the back. This is a throw you have to make. Nobody sees him, and it's too high. I mean, Donovan is completing 38% of his throws in the red zone. It's a tough throw, no question about it, but you have to make that throw. That should have been a touchdown. And again, they continue to stifle themselves because they're not making the throws that are there.
So now David Akers will try to give the Eagles some points. This will be a 20-yard field goal. And the Viking lead is now 7-3, but it's not what the Eagles wanted when they had a 1st and goal at the 2.
Here's the Eagles' last 3rd down play here. You're going to see that L.J. Smith is right here at the line, and he's going to run a route that's going to get behind the linebacker. Now, you got to throw the ball with anticipation here. Right now, the ball's got to be thrown. Here's the spot it's got to be thrown to, with anticipation and leading the receiver. That ball is a moonshot, caught a little helium, and those are the type. Andy Reid said that everything happens faster. And so you have to think faster, and you have to get rid of the ball quicker right there.
And Marty Morenweg talking about that with Donovan McNabb as the Eagles. David Akers kicking off. Troy Williamson returning. Adrian Peterson not returning the kicks now that he is a full-time starter. And a flag is down, and Williamson brings it out to the 30. And there's a penalty marker back at the 30-yard line downfield.
Offside on the kicking team, number 38. It'll be a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down. Minnesota will keep the ball. Timeout.
So 40 seconds remain. And Brad Childress and the Vikings with the lead and the ball. One of Minnesota's 10,000 lakes as you look at the skyline of Minneapolis. Only 40 seconds remain in the 1st quarter, and now inside the Metrodome here in Minneapolis. Vikings with a 1st down on the 35, leading 7-3. And here is Adrian Peterson. And Peterson is dropped. That was Sean Considine, the strong safety, no gain.
That was a very good tackle by Sean Considine right there in the open field, because if he doesn't make that tackle, and that's one thing the Eagles have to do today, you've got to go for that outside leg of Peterson. If you miss it, you got to turn it to somebody else. But you've got to be aggressive. You cannot break down and get into good form tackling against this guy. Otherwise, he'll make you pay.
We asked Adrian Peterson what would be ideal for you. He says 25 carries, not touches, carries. Well, he has 7 thus far, and that is the end of the 1st quarter here in Minneapolis with the Vikings in front of the Eagles 7-3. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. And we start the 2nd quarter here at the Metrodome. Dick Stockton along with Brian Baldinger. The Vikings in front of the Eagles 7-3. It'll be 2nd down and 10 on the Minnesota 35. Kelly Holcomb finds a target, Shanko. And the tight end who caught the touchdown pass in the 1st quarter gets 12 and a 1st down to the 47.
Well, one of the guys they wanted to get involved in the offense today is Victor Shanko. They're going to a lot of 2 tight end set here to protect Kelly Holcomb, who's not a real mobile guy, and also to secure the edges for Adrian Peterson to run behind. So when you have that, you've got to turn one of those guys, one of the tight ends, Klein, Sasser, or Schenko, into a receiver.
And it's tough to blitz on first and second down with the threat of this man, Adrian Peterson, who almost got away from the tackle of Sheldon Brown and picks up about a couple of yards, bringing up second down and long.
What the Eagles are doing to try to stop or slow down Adrian Peterson today is he's making Jim Johnson do things he's never or doesn't like to do. He's playing 8-man fronts to get the extra safety up to stop him in the run game. But what that does is it puts the corners in one-on-one coverage on the outside, and it takes them out of the running game.
Second and 8 as Richardson goes back to the fullback spot to block for Peterson, and Peterson is upended as he gets to midfield. Eagles are not doing a bad job at all against Adrian Peterson so far. He picks up 1.
What Jim Johnson there, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, was most concerned about today was the speed of Adrian Peterson, because he said he hadn't seen it before. He hasn't seen this guy live. It's hard to tell his guys how fast somebody is in the NFL because everybody thinks everybody's fast. But there's fast, and then there's Adrian Peterson fast.
Gets a breather as Chester Taylor replaces him. Remember, Taylor gained 1,200 yards last year. Third down and 7. And we'll have a false start called against the Vikings, and it could be Schenko, and it is.
Shante Schenko. I think I called him Victor a couple plays before my error. But
the Schenko will do. The Schenko will be fine.
False start, number 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Well, that really changes things for Brad Childress. Brings up third down and 11, and this is where Jim Johnson can go to town.
This is when he can really turn his pressures on the quarterback loose.
Detroit with the early lead against Chicago 3-0 in a game that is important to Vikings supporters. We're back at the 45. Give the ball to Chester Taylor. Taylor breaks one and will be stopped short of the first down by about 4 yards by Omar Gaither. And it'll be a punting situation for Minnesota early here in the second.
On third and long or second and long, the Vikings will play Chester Taylor at running back because he's a better pass protector against those pressures that Jim Johnson will come with. Now, when you run it, you're hoping that you catch him in one of those blitzes and you run right by it. They didn't get it done that time.
Chris Kluwe will kick it away, and Reno Mahe is back deep. Mahe's longest punt return, 32 yards so far this season. And this one will go bounce at the 5, take a Viking hop, and be down there at about the 7-yard line. So Kluwe, and it was Gordon who was alert downfield. Eagles have a long way to go when we return. Chris Kluwe, who leads the NFL punters now with 19 kicks inside the 20-yard line. We mentioned his contract extension. And a good play made by Gordon downfield. Donovan McNabb starting from the 7-yard line. Will throw on first down. He has a lot of time, and he dumps it out to Westbrook. First catch of the day, and a great juke by Westbrook, and he comes within 2 yards of a first down.
Let's take a look at that last punt by the Vikings, and the gunner, Charles Gordon, here working on Greg Lewis. They're going to double team Gordon eventually. But this is just good hustle here. This is a play that you don't get to see very often, but the field position that the Vikings just put the Eagles in it's that type of effort that makes a team go a long ways and keeps that ball out of the end zone.
Second down and 2 for the Eagles. They have Westbrook and Buckhalter in the lineup at the same time, and Westbrook comes out split to the left. They dump it off on the screen to Buckhalter. First down, and Carell Buckhalter is tackled at the 21, 6-yard gain and a first down. And right now, a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Steelers and Bengals, Dick, Pittsburgh's Ben Roethlisberger and Hines Ward have already hooked up for 2 touchdown passes, and that's the difference right now as the Steelers have a 14-3 lead in the second quarter. Back to Dick and Baldy.
Thanks, Kurt. That's what red zone offense is supposed to look like right there, Dick. Supposed to find your tight end over the middle, hit him just as he's sitting down, ball out of your hands. Supposed to get easy touchdowns.
First down at the 21. McNabb up the middle again, and it's caught by Reggie Brown, and Brown takes it out to the 34. Another first down for Philadelphia, picking up 13.
Donovan is looking at the eyes of the linebackers here, the Minnesota Vikings, and you're going to watch E.J. Henderson here. When he goes back, it's going to create a void in the middle there, and that's where the Eagles are attacking, that void. Now, it's not big plays, it's little chunk yardage. But watch E.J. Henderson. All he's doing is looking at the eyes of McNabb and then reacting. This is a zone defense, and he's able to do that.
Now the Eagles at the 34. And they'll run it with Westbrook off the right side. And tough to bring down. And finally, Antoine Winfield, as you mentioned, one of the best tackling corners, limits Westbrook to 5.
Well, you know, we spent a lot of time already today talking about Adrian Peterson, and rightfully so. He leads the National Football League in rushing, but Brian Westbrook is also a guy that we're usually talking about when he's on the field, a little overshadowed, but Westbrook is one of 2 players in the league right now that leads their team in rushing and receiving. The other is Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush has more touches, but Westbrook has 300 more yards than Reggie Bush.
And Westbrook averaging 132 yards, total yards per game. Second down and 4, and again they go to Westbrook, and he is stopped about 3 yards shy of the first down. Good play made by defensive end Ray Edwards. Pickup of 2.
Westbrook just going to be running behind Sean Andrews, the right guard, blocking on Kevin Williams, and does a good job of blocking him. But you can see Ray Edwards is a young player that just keeps getting better and better for the Vikings.
So third down and 2 as Curtis and Brown come out split to the left. And they have Westbrook in the slot to the right. McNabb fires, caught, and a first down to the 45. And Reggie Brown with the reception. And the Eagles chewing up first downs, get 14 yards here.
Well, watch Sean Andrews right here blocking Kevin Williams one-on-one. This allows McNabb to have all this time to find Reggie Brown in the formation. You see Sean Andrews, 73 there, just locking out Kevin Williams. Nice throw by McNabb there, getting the ball out with anticipation and allow Reggie Brown to catch up to it.
That's Brown's third catch for 31 yards. Off to a good start in this game. Buckhalter is now behind McNabb on first down. They swing it out to Buckhalter, and a big play there by E.J. Henderson, and a loss of 2.
E.J. Henderson leads the Vikings in tackles, and he just doesn't lead them in tackles. He's a great hitter. And guys that can hit, I mean, really explode and blow people up, it's unusual. There's not many guys in the league that can do it, but it's a natural skill. He said he never really worked on tackling, but when he hits people, it's like a ton of brick stick. He doesn't miss, and he stops them in their tracks.
Returning to middle linebacker after a couple of years as an outside backer is Henderson. McNabb perfect on this drive. 2nd and 12. Play fake. McNabb being chased by Lieber and throws the ball away. So Ben Lieber with a good backside rush on McNabb, and that will bring up third down.
Watch this block here by Westbrook. He cuts Ben Lieber right there. Now he's got a Charlie horse because of it. And he's probably going to be hurting tomorrow big time because of it. But Brian Westbrook is one of the best pass blocking running backs that I've seen in this league in a long, long time. He doesn't miss, and now he just put the starting linebacker out of the game.
Third down and 12 on the Viking 47. Eagles are 0 for 19 on 3rd and more than 10. And this pass, Reggie Brown downfield, and they rule it a catch. And Reggie Brown with a sensational play of 30 yards downfield, beating Antoine Winfield, and the Eagles have been 0 for 19 in 3rd and 10 or more.
Well, maybe they just needed an announcer to make that statement. This is an unbelievable catch by Reggie Brown. Now, I think he got both feet down. I think it's going to be challenged by Brad Childress, and it should be. But Winfield was right there. Unbelievable throw. Great extension by Brown to get it down, and now the red flag to take a look at all of it again.
And a great timing of this Does he have 2 feet in? Does he have possession? All those things will be looked at by Bill Carollo. And we'll take a break right now as the challenge ensues. Bill Carollo checking in the replay has come out with a decision on whether Reggie Brown made that remarkable catch.
After reviewing the play stands as called as a catch. The receiver had both feet inbounds and maintained control of the ball. Timeout, Minnesota.
That was a great job by Reggie Brown. Watch this. He makes the catch. Now the left foot's down and the right foot. You see this right foot here? Watch the rubber kick up from the turf. This new technology, turf that they're playing on, when you see the trail kicking up, you can see that it was before the white.
A 30-yard play and a great throw by McNabb that shouldn't be lost in that play with the great catch by Brown. And Reggie Brown now with 4 catches for 60 yards. And once again, the Eagles find themselves in the red zone. It's first down on the 17. McNabb has been perfect on this drive, 6 for 6 for 68 yards. It's 6 for 7. 7 for 8. And the pass caught by Reggie Brown. And a couple of yards shy of the first down, but gets inside the 10.
The Eagles are the 8th ranked offensive football team out there, but they're way down in points. And this is the area of the field that they have bogged down in. And Andy Reid said this week to us, Dick, that he thinks the whole field is the red zone, that you just can't put it inside the 20. You got to think that you're going to score on every drive and not make this a mental hurdle when you get down here.
2nd down and 3. Hand off to Westbrook. First down. And Westbrook just outside the 5-yard line. E.J. Henderson making the play. So it'll be 1st and goal once again for the Eagles, who trail 7-3.
Thomas Tapei comes in the game, played his football right here at the University of Minnesota, played all of his home games right inside this Metrodome. Look at right here. The Eagles are trying to hide a player here. Jason Avant as to where he's going to be. Lines up with 3 backs, trying to hide so the Vikings couldn't find him.
1st and goal, and the shovel pass, touchdown to Westbrook. And that was over in an eyelash, the shovel pass, and Westbrook goes in untouched, 6 yards for the touchdown, and the Eagles take the lead and score in the red zone.
Well, I think Avant was a decoy coming out. He takes this player out, and now watch the pull here. Todd Harriman's the guard pulls. They all go to McNabb, and then Westbrook, another guy that is very difficult to find when he crouches down, kind of sneaks through there, and he's in the end zone before anybody even sees him.
Well, he wasn't untouched, but he wasn't touched enough. And David Akers ready for the point after that would give the Eagles a 10-7 lead, and the kick is good. So an impressive drive, 93 yards by the Eagles, and they take a 10-7 lead over Minnesota. Quick.
Watch the Eagles' last touchdown here in the red zone. Watch Jason Avant come out here, sneak now. Now do the Vikings see him or don't see him? Charles Gordon sees him, and he's going to run out with them. And then once he goes out, watch E.J. Henderson. He's thinking it's pass all the way. The middle linebacker clears. No recognition at all on the shovel pass. So good deception by Andy Reid in the play call to take those guys out of the formation, let Westbrook come underneath.
Akers will kick off, and Troy Williamson fields it at the 7. Straight ahead and down hard at the 32-yard line by Jaquay Thomas. Eagles lead. 5:42 remaining in the second. First down for the Vikings on the 33. Now trailing 10-7. They led 7-0, and then the Eagles had scored the last 10. Adrian Peterson. And Peterson picking up about a yard with Trent Cole making his 3rd tackle of the game.
I think the 3rd part of this game is special teams. And last kickoff coverage, watch Jaquay Thomas. Very good defensive end of the Eagles. Watch him take off the block and take Troy Williamson right off his feet. And this is a component of the game that the Eagles have to get better at, but Jaquay Thomas, who's capable of starting for this team, will play a lot at defensive end today, where Javon Curse is valuable in kickoff coverage.
Had 2 sacks against the Lions in week 3. 2nd down and 8, and here's Peterson once again, and Peterson is upended. He has carried now 10 times for 39 yards, and making his first start, not because of injury, of his NFL career, and comes out.
Well, it doesn't matter how many yards he ever has in a game, because you always hold your breath that on any moment he can strike fear. And so you can think, oh, we got him contained, and then the moment you let up and you don't do what you're supposed to do, he'll make you pay.
That's what Takeo Spikes said about Barry Sanders, who was the best back he ever played against, maybe until today. 3rd down and 8, and here comes the pressure on Holcomb. His pass, and trying to get it to Sidney Rice, and not thrown on target. That'll bring up 4th down, and Kluwe will come in to punt it away.
And the Eagles got good pressure that time from Lito Shepherd. Here's Lito now, kind of playing around here, but he's going to end up coming through this gap right in the passing lane of Kelly Holcomb. One thing Jim Johnson teaches his guys to do: get your hands up. Always get your hands up. Sometimes you give up a sack, but that bothers a quarterback as much as getting hit. Hands in the face and obstructing the view.
So Chris Kluwe is back, and Reno Mahe at the 23. Mahe going outside, and a fine return by Reno Mahe, who was signed since the season started and gets into Viking territory. A 28-yard return by Mahe, and J.R. Reed with a critical block on the return.
Well, this was a low punt, no hang time. So Reno Mahe got a chance to really get a full head of steam up and pick up some blockers before the coverage got there.
Vikings started out this game with great momentum, scoring on their opening drive and then getting the onside kick after stopping the Eagles, but the Eagles stopped them, and ever since that happened, the momentum of the game has gone over to Philadelphia.
And this is when Andy Reid likes to strike deep on a situation like this, getting the ball on the other side of the 50 on 1st down.
Here comes the blitz, and on the slant, Kevin Curtis. And Curtis is finally stopped as he gets to the 16. A 33-yard play to the fastest receiver, Curtis.
And they're going to work on Cedric Griffin, and they should. They give him the inside route there. This is the same type of defense that he played against in Detroit, where they funnel everything inside, and you get the easy completion there. And McNabb has got to be pumped about that, because his wide receivers are making plays after the catch.
12 for 17, 181 yards already for Donovan McNabb, and the touchdown throw to Brian Westbrook. Steps up, and now he dumps it off to Buckhalter, and Buckhalter with great power drives for the 1st down inside the 5-yard line. Darren Sharper making the tackle against the oncoming Buckhalter, and a gain of 12.
That's a good play by McNabb. He looks quicker today, and he said he likes playing in a dome. Watch him move right here. Just move enough to buy time, and just like a good point guard like he was when he played basketball at Syracuse, kind of brought the defense to him and then just dumped it off. And in this offense, the backs, when they get it checked down to, they've got to make yards with it after the catch.
1 for 2 in the red zone for the Eagles. A vast improvement. They hand off this to Buckhalter, and Buckhalter getting down to the 1-yard line and inside the 1. As we near 2.5 minutes remaining in the 1st half. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. So a 3-yard pickup by Buckhalter, who picked up 103 yards rushing in week 4 when Westbrook was out of action. And a timeout. We'll be back to Minneapolis in just a moment. That's Sharper.
Halloween coming up this week, trick or treat, and I'll show you a trick or treat play. Watch Darren Sharper key Westbrook here, and Jason Avant, when Sharper isn't looking, TKOs him right here, right in the rib. Bam! The reason why Sharper never saw him coming, his eyes were so focused on stopping Westbrook.
Injury timeout, and it goes against the Vikings, and there is Darren Sharper and Donovan McNabb Pro Bowlers, and Sharper with great pride, and the all-time leading interceptor amongst defensive backs of the active kind. It'll be first and goal at the 1.
And Sharper knows who he's intercepted in this league and how many he's got. He's gotten 3 off Donovan McNabb in his career.
Vikings have 5 defensive linemen. And the handoff to Westbrook, going over the top for the touchdown. Second touchdown of the day for Brian Westbrook. And the Eagles add to their lead now, 16-7.
Westbrook has to make that decision quickly, whether he's going to go behind Jamal Jackson or jump. He takes off from the 3, and he went airborne. It's like a split-second decision by a back. Stick it in there or go over the top. If E.J. Henderson goes low, the middle linebacker, then if he feels he can go over the top, that's what he did.
Third touchdown as a runner for Brian Westbrook, and his second score of the game. And Akers looking to give the Eagles a 10-point lead. And it's good, and it's a 17-7 game. And a lot of the enthusiasm has drifted out of the Metrodome right now. Well, Fox Friday, the competition is heating up in an all-new, the next Great American Band. See which bands rise to the top and which ones go home Friday at 8/7 Central, only on Fox.
Dick, it's amazing what you can do offensively when you're productive in the red zone. You know, in last week, they got down there 3 times. They didn't convert any against the Bears, and they had 9 points. This week, you know, they converted 2 out of 3 here in the red zone. They got 17 points. But that drive was started by a great return, Reno Mahi right there.
And the great slant to Curtis.
Big play by Curtis. So McNabb has been very good today, very good. And we said at the beginning that McNabb had to be better for Andy Reid to look like he's coaching better and for this team to be better.
Again, we can't overemphasize the importance of this game. Both teams are 2-4, coming off of losses, in last place in their respective divisions. You go to 2-5, you got some big-time problems, especially the Eagles would with the Cowboys, Giants, and the Redskins with winning records, but the same would go for the Vikings in the NFC North. Troy Williamson inside the 5 as we near 2 minutes remaining, and Williamson takes it out beyond the 25-yard line. Joselio Hansen making the play. Well, what does 2-5 mean? Well, since 1970, teams starting 2-5, only 3 have made the playoffs. And the last one were the New York Jets, who finished 9-7, the Lions in 95, and the Saints back in 1990.
I remember that playoff game in Philadelphia. The Lions came to town after getting to 10-6. Scott Mitchell was the quarterback. Barry Sanders was there, and the Eagles took him apart. Scored over 50 points in that game.
Holcomb starting from the 27-yard line. And the pass out in the flat to Chester Taylor is incomplete. The Vikings have only thrown for 30 yards thus far, and therein lies their Achilles heel. Vikings have not been able to throw the ball effectively this year. Big disparity between their ability to run. They're first in the NFL in rushing, but 30th in passing. Second down and 10. 11 seconds away from the 2-minute warning. Inside handoff to Taylor. Chester Taylor tripped up just before he got to the first down by Monte Rager. And we're down to the 2-minute warning here in Minneapolis. Vikings with the ball, and the Eagles leading the Vikings by 10. 2 minutes remain in the first half, and Donovan McNabb having a terrific first half, and he was leaving our meeting room, and we asked about playing indoors. He says, I love playing indoors. He brought that out, Brian, but he hadn't played in this stadium since his college days at Syracuse against the University of Minnesota. 2 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd down and 1 on the 36, and the handoff to Chester Taylor, and Taylor will have enough for the first down, picking up 2 yards. The Vikings have 2 timeouts remaining.
One guy missing from this Eagle defense over the last 5 weeks has been Brian Dawkins. out with a neck injury. He's been practicing with the team with his helmet on the last couple of days this past week. Saw him warming up with Otis Smith before the game, getting his conditioning in. I hope to get a lift when he gets back.
First down, they spread it out, and slipping was the receiver. The pass is intended for Ferguson, and flag goes down. Lito Shepard covering him, but Robert Ferguson had slipped before the ball got to him.
And that's exactly what happened. He slipped, and then Lito Shepard fell on top of him as he slipped.
Pass interference, 26, defense, automatic first down.
Kind of inadvertent.
Foul.
That's exactly what it was, Dick. It was inadvertent. You're going to see Ferguson running a comeback here. He's going to lose his footing. Now, he's slipping there. That's a bad call on the outside. I mean, I don't know. Lito Shepard really can't play that any better. He didn't knock him down, didn't put him to the ground. Ferguson did that himself.
From the 48 of the Vikings, first down, and Holcomb is going deep for Ferguson. He's got it, and out of bounds inside the 20. They go back to Robert Ferguson, the former Packer, and he beat Sheldon Brown to 35 yards.
This is why Chester Taylor is in passing situations right now. His block off the edge to give Holcomb time against Takeo Spikes allowed Holcomb to get the ball down the field.
So a first down on the 18.
Solid protection. You just can't go to sleep on these guys. They don't throw it down the field a lot, but they catch you by surprise when they do.
Vikings trying to come back. It's been 17 unanswered points for the Eagles. And here is Holcomb. And his pass is tipped away by Brown. Trying to get it to Wade. Stops the clock with 1:14 to go. And second down and 10.
This is a nice play by Sheldon Brown, just making this break on the ball. But by his own admission, Kelly Holcomb would say that his arm isn't as strong as it once was. Been in the league a long time. Jim Johnson, who was with him in Indianapolis, said the arm isn't as strong, and that was an example of a throw where the ball kind of died there.
He's a smart quarterback, and he's got that going for him. And experience. Second down and 11, and the movement in the line. And a false start penalty will set the Vikings back 5 more yards.
False start, number 40, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Jim Kleinsaucer, tight end. So second down and long, and you're looking at the Vikings coming in only 6 possessions in the red zone. That is hard to believe in 6 games. 3 touchdowns and 6 possessions, and of course they got one in the red zone so far today.
Of course, Adrian Peterson has scored a lot of touchdowns from way beyond the red zone,
yes,
which helped.
Wade went in motion wide left. Second down and 15, and the pass thrown hard to Taylor up the middle, and now it's third down. So the Vikings offense and the big pass to Ferguson, and now they've stalled all of a sudden.
That's great recognition by Trent Cole. You've got a second and long, and he wants to rush after Holcomb, but once he smelled screen, he broke off his pass rush and then got into the screen. Guy plays with an incredible amount of energy and leverage. Never seems to ever get tired.
Third down and 15. And once again, 3 receivers line up to the left. Holcomb stepping up. This one's caught by Sidney Rice, and Rice is stopped at the 21-yard line. Way short of the first down, so it'll be a field goal try, presumably coming up. Quentin Michael making the definitive tackle.
Watch Trent Cole working on Bryant McKinney, trying to protect the backside to Kelly Holcomb. Watch this effort to try to turn the corner. Gets underneath McKinney. He's nipping at the heels of Holcomb right there. If he can get to the quarterback, he thinks he can get the quarterback down.
So Ryan Longwell will come on, but first we have a timeout called by the Eagles. And we want to remind you, coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. The Philadelphia Eagles leading in this game 17-7, and a 39-yard try coming up for Longwell. Longwell 8 of 10 coming into this game.
One of those was the game winner against the Bears just 2 weeks ago, 55 yards, his career high.
And that was the high watermark for this Viking team, beating the Bears on the road. So here we go. 39-yard attempt. And Longwell's kick is good. And the Vikings have come within 7. Eagles lead at 17-10 with 58 seconds to go in the first half. Well, tonight, Game 4 of the World Series, and the Boston Red Sox looking to sweep the Colorado Rockies on the road. Rockies just trying to stay alive and live for another day. 8 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. And the coverage of the World Series. And an interesting story tonight. John Lester will be pitching for the Red Sox, who was diagnosed with lymphoma last August. Went to treatment in his home state of Washington, returned to AAA, and then came back to pitch for the Red Sox late in July, and will be on the mound to try
Close
to
it out.
hurl a sweep tonight.
Yeah, did you stay up to the end last night then?
I did.
Make it
Yes.
4 hours and 19 minutes?
The longest World Series game in history.
Yeah. Thought the Rockies might make a game of it when they came back 6-5, but then the relief of the Red Sox is shut them down at that point. Good day on Fox, though. Get to see the Redskins and the Patriots coming up after this. The Fall Classic, chance for the Red Sox to close out. A lot of sports left ahead.
And a lot of the shows, which I'd like to hear you talk about too, you know.
Yes.
Terrell Buckhalter fields it inside the 5-yard line. And Buckhalter is hit, bounces off the tackler, and gets a few extra yards. Playing inspired football is Buckhalter, and that was a 21-yard return. So 51 seconds to go, and the Eagles with 1 timeout left.
The way McNabb is throwing the ball right now, I think you got to put it in his hands. You got a timeout, you got 51 seconds. I think you got to take a shot. Normally the Eagles like to start with a short pass, a screen, or something like that, just to kind of get some positive yards and get started. Westbrook is a good guy to get it started with.
There you see, since the first quarter, you just have to look at his face to see how confident and assured he looks right now, Brian.
Ever since he missed L.J. Smith in the end zone at the end of that drive, he's been on fire.
Ball is at the 26. And he goes up the middle, and Westbrook is there for a gain of 7. Pump fake, and there's the pass drilled, and it's nearly intercepted, and it's ruled incomplete. And Antoine Winfield downfield, and a target down there for Donovan McNabb.
You know, this ball almost got picked, but I like the shot by McNabb. Tried to fit it in between Winfield and the safety. Made an incredible effort for the ball, but I also like the call. I like the aggression going down the field. McNabb put that thing on a laser, and a great play by Winfield to break it up. But I like both sides, the aggression on both sides of the field.
So it'll be 3rd down and 3, and Darren Sharper, remember he came out before that touchdown by the Eagles, has come back in the lineup for Minnesota. Brian Westbrook with the carry, and Westbrook will go out of bounds, stopping the clock with 16 seconds to go, and the Eagles with 1 timeout, picking up 9 yards and trying to get in position for Akers to try a field goal.
That's a smart play by Brian Westbrook, though, because that was a great individual effort to get the first down and then to get out of bounds and stop the clock. So what it means is the Eagles can continue to take 1 or 2 more shots down the field, have a timeout left in their pocket to maybe get Akers on the field.
Westbrook with a solid all-round game, to no one's surprise. And here is McNabb driven from the pocket downfield and incomplete. Darren Sharper close, but it was Reggie Brown, the man he wanted to get it to. Now 9 seconds left.
Watch this. Watch Brian Westbrook. We've talked about him as a pass protector. Watch him help out his left tackle, William Thomas. Every back in the league should learn how to chip like this. I mean, just leaves his feet, knocks the end inside, puts the elbow right into his head like that. I mean, aggressive, violent. And you know what? Those ends will have a hard time coming back outside and turning the corner after they get whacked like that.
Westbrook has 3 catches and has gained 29 yards on 10 carries. 9 seconds remaining in the first half. 2nd down and 10. And McNabb throws a wobbly pass. It's caught by Brown. And down he goes at the 40-yard line. And 1 second remaining on the clock. And a timeout called by the Eagles, their 3rd and last timeout. So McNabb finds Brown for 18 yards. Now what?
Well, I think you got to go with Akers here.
So now Akers is coming on, and of course at a time like this you always have to, looking at the new style freezing of the field goal kickers just before the center snap, and we'll see if Brad Childress has anything like that in mind.
Well, Akers has made a kick this year from 53 yards.
This will be 59.
All right, so I mean, but you know what? It's indoors. There's no elements. You don't have to worry about a crosswind or bad footing or anything else like that. You know, you give it your best shot here. And believe me, they wouldn't have a chance for this kick if it wasn't for Westbrook getting out of bounds a couple plays before.
How about this? David Akers kicks better outdoors than indoors.
Oh.
So a 59-yard.
See if Brad Childress wants to try and call a timeout here while they're in the motion.
He does it, and there's the kick, and it is going to be wide right, no good. And that will end the first half with the score. The Eagles 17, the Vikings 10, and Fox NFL Sunday continues with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
The Halftime Report is sponsored by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Life takes Visa.
And we welcome you to the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt Menefee along with Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. And right now, the Philadelphia offense getting going for a change against Minnesota.
All right, Minnesota's Adrian Peterson. Jimmy Johnson, he is the lead dog now. Kelly Holcomb, though, to Vashante Shanko, 9-yard touchdown, 7-0 Vikings over the Eagles. Shove a pass inside. It is to Brian Westbrook, 6-yard touchdown. It's 10-7 Eagles. Then Westbrook from 1 yard out, making it 17-7 Eagles. Now 17-10. Eagles over the Vikings. That's a halftime score.
Also at halftime, look at this. The Lions blanking the Bears 13-0.
Stars and stripes on your left. Union Jack. British flag on your right. Eli Manning. Giants warming up Wembley Stadium. Let's get a big game on. An explosion game. Lots of passing and fun. Not hardly. Brandon Jacobs, 14-yard run led to a Lawrence Tynes field goal. You know the Brits got to love that. Kick it. That's where it's fun. 3-0 Giants. Man coverage. Crossing routes. Best route in football. Crossing routes. Man coverage. Nobody responsible for the quarterback. So Eli Manning runs it in from 10 yards out. All Giants 13-10. Both teams on the road. Big Ben Roethlisberger, Steeler quarterback. Big Ben. Back, punt, corner route, flag route. Hines Ward, touchdown, 21-yarder. 7-3, Steelers over the Bengals, second quarter. Big Ben, empty backfield, turn, quick slant. There it is, Hines Ward, 6-yard touchdown pass. This is fun, good stuff, gotta like it. If you're a Steeler fan, I am. 21-6. Now, early in the third quarter, Steelers over the Bengals.
Elsewhere, Peyton Manning trying to become the first quarterback to beat 31 other teams, has a 3-point lead over Carolina at halftime. And it's all field goals so far between Oakland and Tennessee, 9-3 to starting the second half.
St. Louis Rams at the goal line. Tight eye left, close. Steven Jackson, 2-yard touchdown run. Here we go. It is Rams 7-0 over the Browns. Quick slant, bottom of your screen. Bulge into Torrey Holt, got inside the corner. 14-0. Boy, this is fun. Then Derek Anderson, young quarterback for the Browns. 12-yarder to Braylon Edwards, 14-10. It is the Rams until Eric Anderson nails this 21-yarder. What a great catch by young Kellen Winslow, the tight end. Tied up early in the third quarter now as it just gets underway. 17-all. Cleveland Browns, St. Louis Rams, good stuff.
And by the way, Steven Jackson had to leave that game with a back injury after coming back from missing a month with a groin injury. We'll update you on his condition later on.
There is a cloud over that Rams organization right now.
It really is. Well, there's been a cloud over this Eagles offense this year. Yeah. Other than that, the Detroit game, they hadn't scored more than one offensive touchdown at all, but they've gotten 2 so far in this first half today.
Well, they're starting to click right now. 252 yards total offense. And as good as McNabb's playing, the key to this offense, Brian Westbrook. He's got 29 yards rushing against a very physical defense against the run, Minnesota, and then got 3 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Brian Westbrook, one of the top players in the league.
Yeah, I thought before the injury, and now he's starting to make the surge again, was the MVP of the league, and I know you thought that.
No, I said it before you thought it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Riveting. Just his presence alone opens up so many other things. It helps with pass protection, helps with the running game. It gives Donovan the opportunity to at least have a viable threat in the running game. They spread Minnesota out. Those 2 defensive tackles are so good in Minnesota. Makes it so difficult to run between the tackles, attack the edges, spread them out, attack them in the secondary.
Vikings, please pray. Somebody start throwing the football. Complete some passes. Open things up. Just any kind of offense effort from your quarterback position and the Vikings.
Did you pick the Vikings?
Yes,
there you go.
I did.
Now you know why. We'll see if they do it as the second half continues right after this.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter with the Eagles leading the Vikings 17-10. Dick Stockton and Brian Baldinger. Well, let's talk about what you said at the outset. This has got to be McNabb's game. In the first half, it was.
And it was. I mean, really, after that first drive, he really settled in. A lot of big throws. And he put the throws in position for the guys to make plays after the catch. And very productive in the red zone. That was their problem area. So, good first half for McNabb.
Quickly, Vikings trailing. What did we do?
The last time Adrian Peterson touched the ball, the last 5 times, he's got 5 yards. They've got to get him loose. He's their playmaker. The offense is built around him. And they got to get the ball to him more so that they can stay on the field.
Well, Dawn Mitchell, our sideline reporter, talked to both coaches, and we'll hear from her in a minute after the second half kickoff. David Akers will be kicking off, and Adrian Peterson is going back to return his first kick of the game. Peterson has gained 39 yards on 11 carries for a 3.5 average. Started the game nearly 6 yards a clip. And Akers gets this second half underway, kicking it away from Peterson. And Peterson fields it and goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And that's where the Vikings will take it. Do you let it go out of bounds? If it goes into the end zone, in any event, that's where they are.
Brad might want to replay this or review it to see if the ball was out of bounds first.
First down.
If he catches it inbounds and then goes out of bounds, the ball's right where they spot it.
Looked like he did.
No, that was about as bad a decision as you could possibly make in that part of the field. Great job by David Akers to pin it in the corner.
So talk about worst case scenario. And now comes the challenge. And Brad Childress, who has already challenged once, this would be his last challenge. If he throws the flag, he's talking to his people upstairs who are taking a look at it. Is it worth it to throw it?
He's trying to buy some time. You know, looking at that ball right there, the longest play in NFL history was by Tony Dorsett in that end zone, going 99.5 yards for a touchdown run in 1982. He's going to throw it.
So here comes the challenge. That's where the ball is.
Well, let's take a look. The ball's inbounds. Adrian picks it up.
It's a matter of possession.
Minnesota is challenging the ruling on the field that it was touched inbounds first. We'll review the play.
Well, this is a huge challenge, and the last one that Brad Childress has when we come back. We haven't ticked off a second yet of this third quarter. And a challenge is going on. Brad Childress challenging. Did Adrian Peterson touch the ball? Nothing to do with possession. Did he touch the ball before he stepped out of bounds in the field of play? And Bill Carollo replies.
After reviewing the play, it's been determined the receiving team touched the ball in the field of play and then stepped out of bounds. The play will stand as called at the half-yard line. Minnesota is charged with a timeout and also charged with their second challenge.
So that's empty pockets for Brad Childress. Timeout and no more challenges.
I think what Brad was hoping was that Adrian Peterson's foot was out of bounds.
to 14,
before he touched the ball, but it's clearly not the case. And whoever was watching the play for Brad Childress upstairs has got to make that declaration to him that it is not a challenge that you're going to win.
So 1 second ticked off the clock, and that's where the Vikings will start from. And a team that has had problems moving the ball. They have 66 yards passing, 56 yards rushing. And they trail by 10.
Anytime you're a defense and an offense has the ball inside the 1 yard line, you have to think about safety. You have to think about making a play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Penetration is what can kill a play here. Any offensive penalty in the end zone is also a safety.
Adrian Peterson. And maybe Peterson will get the call to try to bust one and get out of real danger. And it's the first handoff to the fullback, Tony Richardson, and he gets about a 1. So let's get the report from Dawn Mitchell down on the sideline.
This is exactly what Brad Childress was telling me about. Self-inflicted wounds. He does not want it to happen again. We see it right at the beginning of the third. They also have to keep pressure on McNabb. As for Andy Reid, he said McNabb has been tremendous, but we've also had a chance to use our goal line package and finally use it effectively. And they, of course, want to keep their pressure up on defense. Back to you guys.
All right, Dawn, and that's been the story of the game as the Eagles leading by 10. Andy Reid 3-0 against the Vikings, but all 3 wins coming in Philadelphia. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And Holcomb throwing from the end zone and has to throw it away and nowhere to go with it. Take a look at the Minnesota Vikings. First 5 drives, they started off in fine fashion, and then different story.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the way up until the end when they got the field goal, but the opening drive was about as well conceived. 11 plays all the way down, 80-something yards on that drive. So they kind of fell apart after that. But Adrian Peterson also got stopped after that. And so that was the difference.
3rd and 9, and Chester Taylor has checked in the game. And Taylor nearly tackled in the end zone, worked his way out to the 1. And a loss on the play. Chris Gokong right in the middle of it, so it's 4th down, and now they'll have to kick and not much margin.
You see Chris Gokong does a great job of penetrating. Fights right off the block of Tony Richardson and plays it on his inside shoulder, keeps his outside shoulder free, and blasts through there to stop it. Now this is tough for Chris Kluwe. This is a lot shorter distance here than it is normally, by about 3 yards from where he normally stands on a punt.
Cullen Loeffler is the long snapper. And it's going to be a little shorter snap for him. Eagles looking in great field position. Good pressure by Philadelphia. Reno Mahe at the Viking 45. And he is dragged down. So good coverage by the Minnesota Vikings, led by Heath Farwell, and that's what he's done in this game. 44-yard kick, but there are 2 penalty flags down at about the 30-yard line.
It's about the best that you can expect from Chris Kluwe with a 1-step and then punt. In that situation.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 50 on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty. The receivers will keep the ball. 1st down.
Matt McCoy knocks down Kluwe, and that cost the Eagles.
Really just stupid football there on Matt McCoy's part. First of all, he clipped him, hit him from behind, and then they're always going to try to protect the quarterback and the punters in these games.
So the Eagles will start from their own 40-yard line, and that's going to be a big difference. 15-yard penalty.
And that's Brian Dawkins there coaching them up, saying those are the kind of things that have us 2-4 this year. It's not the big items, it's the dumb ones.
And Dawkins really still enraged over that play.
Dawkins has been a lot more vocal not playing than when he does play, because he always let his playing do the talking for him.
And when they score, he's the biggest cheerleader on the sideline. 1st down, and McNabb on a play action dumps it off to Westbrook. Westbrook turning on the Jets. 1st down and into Viking territory. What a move. Westbrook stutter stepping his way to 25 yards, and a big play to start the Eagles offense in the 3rd quarter.
Nice play action design here. Watch Westbrook. He's going to come over like he's chipping. Little bootleg action here, and then he's going to slip out here for the screen. So it took a little while for this play to develop. Westbrook gets out there, Now he picks up. Here's Harriman's right there with a good block on Lieber. And then nice job by Baskett and L.J. Smith leading the convoy down the sidelines.
So the Eagles on the Vikings 35. And this is a crucial defensive sequence for Minnesota with a 7-point lead. And Westbrook slices off the left side and is tackled by Henderson after a gain and a penalty flag down at the 25. So
Westbrook was clamoring for a face mask there at the end of the play. Don't know if he got the call or not.
Personal foul, face mask, 56, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Look at that. Look, Westbrook, you can stiff arm on the face mask, and that's okay. But the defender can't grab the face mask. Seems like that should be an offsetting type call, but good stiff arm, violent yardage there by Westbrook. See, it's a tick for attack right there. But you can see that Henderson here has a grab on Westbrook's face mask, whereas Westbrook is just jamming that right palm right into the chin of Henderson.
Westbrook with more yards as a receiver than as a rusher at this point. And a first down at the 15. Hand off to Westbrook and wrestled down by Henderson. No face mask there, just a good takedown after a gain of 2. And for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Carolina Panthers scored the first 7 points of the game. After that, a lot of Indy. Joseph Adai with the touchdown, catch, and run. His second of the day with 17-7. Colts on top in the third. Dick and Baldy.
All right, Colts have won 11 consecutive regular season games and leading against the Panthers. Second down and 9 with 3 minutes gone by in the third. Here is McNabb spinning around and will take it and go out of bounds at the 7-8 yard line. We showed you the Vikings who scored on their first possession, and here's what the Eagles did as they finally cashed it in the red zone in this game.
And that's the difference here. That's the whole difference in this game. They've gotten production down there today. 2 touchdowns. They got inside the red zone. They converted. The one that they didn't convert on, they kicked the field goal, and then they missed a 59-yarder at the end of the first half. So pretty good day so far.
Hank Baskett to the left, and 2 tight ends for the Eagles. Third down and 3. And the handoff to Westbrook, and he is taken down by Henderson. Ray Edwards also in on the play, so a good defensive stop by the Vikings, bringing up 4th down, a loss of 1 for Westbrook, and the field goal team is on for the Eagles.
That's tough. That's a hard call with those linebackers playing in the line of scrimmage like that. They just get more bodies than you have blockers, and the penetration stopped the play.
So here's Akers attempting a 27-yard field goal. 1 for 2 in the game. And Akers' field goal is good, and the Eagles now lead by a score of 20-10, still early in this third quarter. Well, on the left, that's what Peterson did the last time, touching the ball and stepping out at the 1/2 yard line, and he's back out there again, Brian.
Well, it just shows you how desperate the Vikings are for a big play. And Peterson can deliver it, that you put a young player, a rookie back there in that situation again after he flubbed it the first time.
But not just any rookie.
No.
Akers kicking it away from Peterson, and he'll field it at the 4. And Adrian Peterson is finally down at the 15. So let's see what the Vikings do. They need to get Peterson involved more, apparently, as the Vikes trail by 10. Back here at the Metrodome, Dick Stockton and Brian Baldinger. The Vikings trailing by 10, starting from the 15, which is better than starting from the 1, as they did the last time they had the ball. Holcomb on the slant, completes to Bobby Wade, first down.
Nick, let's go back to that opening kickoff. After that kickoff when Adrian Peterson stepped out of bounds, watch Bill Carollo explain what he could have done. If you would have stepped out of bounds with your left foot and then fielded the ball, Adrian, you would have gotten the ball at the 40-yard line. So it's a trick that all coaches should tell them. But the fact that the referees
I think it's great.
It's a good thing.
Great for Bill Carollo there. 13-yard gain, first down. Peterson not blocking, didn't have enough blocking there, and was knocked back as Bunkley led the charge. No gain, bringing up second down and 10.
Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator, said that the last time he's seen a back this good, it was LaDainian Tomlinson about 4 years ago. They held him to 17 yards in that game. He said the same rules apply today. We have got to be in our gaps every single play. And on that play right there, there was a green hat in every gap, and there was no place for Peterson to go.
39 yards on 12 rushes, nothing as a receiver. So 39 yards won't get it done for the Vikings today. Holcomb drills it, and incomplete. Wade covered by Lito Shepherd.
Now, the Vikings are last in the league in passing, and a lot of it is throws like that. Holcomb, who has more experience than Tavares Jackson, been around the league a lot longer, has got to make that throw. He's completing about 50% of his passes on the year, and it has to be up over 60% to be an effective passing team and a good quarterback.
He was a backup to Peyton Manning with the Colts for 3 years.
Didn't take many snaps.
Not too many. Not too many.
He's doing what Tavares Jackson was doing for a long time there.
Well, the Vikings are his 5th team, and looking at 3rd and 10. Pressure, down he goes, and Jaquay Thomas having a big game for the Eagles, shaking up is Holcomb. By the way, Brooks Baldinger is the backup quarterback, and Tavares Jackson the emergency quarterback.
Tavares Jackson coming around the horn here. He beats the tight end Kleinsasser. Boy, and I tell you, Jaquay Thomas took his head, and drilled it right into the turf there.
Loss of 11, and shaken up is Holcomb as he comes off the field. So the 11-year veteran, it's got to be one of the hardest hits he's taken from Middle Tennessee State, comes out of the game, and it's 4th down, and Kluwe will be kicking it away, and Reno Mahe will go back for the Eagles. So we'll be watching the Holcomb situation. Brooks Baldinger is the backup today for the Vikings. Kicking it away from Mahe, and the ball out of bounds. And it went out of bounds inside the 30. We'll see where they mark it. So pressure on Holcomb. 20-10, the Eagles lead. The concern for Kelly Holcomb, and right in front of him, Brooks Baldinger going through the paces in case he's needed. So the Eagles will start on the 30. 2 tight end formation. Westbrook with the carry. And Westbrook gets about 7 yards before Kevin Williams takes him down.
I like the way Westbrook just bounces up off the ground. This is why Kelly Holcomb is getting the attention he is. From this angle, watch Holcomb's head get driven to the ground here. Hat first, bam. That neck is like being in a car accident right there.
Second sack for the Eagles.
To protect that.
Second down and 3. Darren Sharper coming up toward the line. And McNabb's pass caught by Reggie Brown, and that'll be a first down. This could be the season's high for Brown. That's his 7th catch for 90 yards as we check down with Dawn Mitchell.
You saw that they're working at Kelly Holcomb on the sidelines here. They say he has a neck injury. He is questionable to return. They were checking to see other parts behind his neck and his shoulder, but right now a neck injury, and Brooks Baldinger looks to be in next, guys.
All right, Dawn, and there you see the injury update. Questionable as to his return.
Questionable, look at him. You're going to put a guy that looks like that back out there in the field?
Not a bad-looking guy, but I mean, he's really been shaken up.
He looks like a good old country boy to me, but he doesn't look like he's ready to go in there and lead the team on a comeback victory.
1st and 10 at the 42, the slant, and it's incomplete as Winfield with a good hit on Reggie Brown. So this does not look promising for Kelly Holcomb, who started today for Tavares Jackson, who's out with the index finger injury to his right hand, and Brooks Baldinger preparing to come on.
It's not a good quarterback situation for the Vikings. Tavares Jackson with an avulsion to the index finger on his throwing hand. An 11-year veteran in Kelly Holcomb on the sideline with a neck problem. And Brooks Baldinger as your next option.
And the pass intended for Curtis downfield. Looked like he stopped his route. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Kevin Curtis has been the go-to guy when they've gotten the ball down the field. That's been replaced by Reggie Brown, and that's the way this offense can be, the way it's supposed to be, is that anybody should be able to jump up and lead the team in receptions depending on what the defense is doing to you.
The scene at the Vikings sideline, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. Eagles on their 42, leading by 10. Pressure on McNabb and sacked inside the 35. Ben Lieber leading the charge. The first quarterback sack of the day by the Vikings, and they lose 9 to the Eagles.
Well, it looks like Westbrook is trying to get over there. He knows he's coming. He was just late getting there. He had to come from the left side, on the left side of McNabb, all the way in front of him in order to get there. Like they should have probably shifted him over there before the snap, made it a little easier to make the block.
Sav Rocca, native Australian, kicking to Bobby Wade. Wade at the 26. And the Eagles with terrific coverage knock him down at the 30 thanks to J.R. Reed. Vikings take over. Do we see a new quarterback? Yes. And we're back here at the Metrodome. Brooks Baldinger is in at quarterback. He has seen action in one game, and that was in the overtime period against Detroit. He completed 3 of 4 when Tavares Jackson got hurt. Came to the Vikings in a trade with the Jets in August of 06. And here he is.
Well, the Eagles didn't know who they were preparing for today, Tavares Jackson or Kelly Holcomb. And here, with 7:23 in the 3rd quarter, they're getting Brooks Baldinger.
So who can figure? First down at the 31. Adrian Peterson is in at running back. 7:23 to go in the 3rd. And Ballinger's first pass is caught by Sidney Rice. So Rice has caught only 1 pass in the last 2 games. A promising rookie makes the reception here, and that is good for 14 yards.
You know, everything in the NFL is about connections and relationships, and Brooks Baldinger is here because he quarterbacked the University of Wisconsin to 2 back-to-back Rose Bowl championships, and Brad knew about him because when he left Wisconsin, he's got good relationships there, and he knew Brooks Baldinger.
First down and play action. Here come the Eagles defense. The pass is complete to Shanko. And Shanko is tackled at the 49-yard line, 5 yards shy of the first down by Quinton Michael.
Well, you got to give Brad Childress credit. He's got confidence in Baldinger to the point where he comes in relief as the 3rd quarterback, and he immediately puts the ball in his hands, and he makes 2 quick completions. So it's not a bad option to have Adrian Peterson just to hand it off, but he said, we got to tackle.
Chester Taylor comes into the game. That's been the pattern. 2nd down and 5. And Taylor splitting out to the right. Empty backfield. Pass caught by Shanko, and a first down into Eagle territory. Chris Gokong downfield making the tackle. Another 13-yard pickup, and Baldinger is showing the best passing rhythm that the Vikings have had all day.
And decisive with it. That was 5 wide receivers that we've seen for the first time today. So really, you're just scanning the field pre-snap, deciding where you're going to go with the ball, and you get it out on 3 steps.
And there is Kelly Holcomb leaving the premises, going into the locker room. The neck injury, as Dawn Mitchell reported. First down at the 39 of the Eagles. Filling up that empty space is Chester Taylor and Baldinger. And good defensive play as Kleinsasser had it broken up by Omar Gaither. Good play by Gaither.
Good play by Gaither, but the design of the play was supposed to go deep down the field to Bobby Wade, and he was well covered. So not only did they put the ball in Ballinger's hands, but they wanted to go for the big strike, and the Eagles took it away from him.
So Baldinger, who started 9 games for the Jets in the 2005 season following injuries to Chad Pennington and Vinny Testaverde, who started today for Carolina, has a 2nd down and 10. Flag down. Baldinger fires. Tipped away. There may have been a free play for the Vikings as Ferguson was the intended receiver, covered by Lito Shepherd.
Offside, defense, number 58, jumped in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Trent Cole jumped offside. "16 opening day backup quarterbacks have started a game this season, 18 over the entire 2006 season. So
we saw that on Monday night when Quinn Gray came in for Jacksonville. You better have qualities at that position.
Hand off to Adrian Peterson. Peterson getting inside the 30 has a 1st down for the Vikings. So Baldinger has added some spark, and Peterson gets 7 yards as the Vikings trailing by 10. Threaten here with 5 minutes left in the 3rd.
Well, Baldinger is one of those guys that is smart, can read a defense, doesn't have the strongest arm, got a good presence about him, and certainly came here when Brad Childress got the job, so he's been in the system, knows what's expected of him right now, and they've loosened him up with the pass a little bit.
1st down on the 27, and here's Peterson breaking one. That was a pretty good run, even though he only got about 3 out of it, as Gaither missed the tackle, and he's down at the 25.
This is a great play here by Sheldon Brown coming up to force this play. Talk about it. Sheldon Brown right there. He's there to finish that, just to turn it. He didn't make the play, but he turned it back in so that Broderick Bunkley, coming from the defensive tackle position, was able to do it. This guy can stop and start with the best of them, but that's just good team defense corralling.
2nd and 8. Peterson again, leaping and getting the 1st down. What a run that was.
Bump that to your resume reel.
9 yards.
I think the guy wants the ball. I mean, this is like he just put the cape on. This is Superman-like. We see this. Why not? I mean, if you can't run through him, why not just jump over him? That might get played a few times tonight in the highlights as we watch the NFL action. Wow.
58 yards on 15 carries. And Peterson's 1st down, giving the Vikings the ball on the 17. And Baldinger going to the hot hand. And it was amazing that he avoided the loss on that play. Well, maybe 1, but it could have been more, with Cole finally catching up to Adrian Peterson as we wind down to 3 minutes left in the 3rd.
You got sweat just dripping right out of his helmet coming off the field. But that was a good play by Lawan Ramsey, just forcing him to the sidelines. You see it. Never bends over, looking for that extra tank of oxygen. Barely even breathing. Maybe just a gulp of water to rinse it out. Get ready for the next time he gets on the field.
Chester Taylor in there, 9th play of this drive. From the 17, and they go to Taylor. Taylor gets to the 14. It'll be 3rd down. Jaquay Thomas making the play on the former Baltimore Raven. Talk about the best 1-2 punch in the running back department. Number 1 are the Peterson-Taylor combinations and the rest.
Well, this is a formula that has been going on in the league now for a while, that you can't just have one guy. The way we used to remember Edgerrin James at the very beginning, or the Jim Browns of the world, where you just gave it to one guy. You need 2. And the Colts won it last year with Joseph Adai and Dominic Rhodes in combination, and they ran their way to a Super Bowl victory against the Bears.
3rd down and 7, and timeout called by Baldinger, and that is the 2nd timeout for the Vikings, because you remember Brad Childress lost the challenge on the kickoff return by Peterson. So the Vikings have only 1 timeout left.
So you got to keep the score down to have a chance to beat that team right now, and the Redskins can do that. I expect today that the Patriots will score somewhere in the middle 20s, which would give the Redskins a chance to win that one.
Do they keep an eye on, like, the Colts are winning 24-7? Are the Patriots aware of what the Colts are doing?
They live in a bubble. They live in their own bubble, and they don't know what's going on around the league. All they care about is what they do.
But this is going to be a tougher defensive team than they have faced, I would think.
The toughest they've faced so far. And they got a good coordinator in Greg Williams that can put a scheme together.
3rd down and 8 after the timeout by the Vikings. They're on the 14-yard line. Baldinger throwing into the end zone and past Robert Ferguson. So he threw it out of the end zone. Ferguson had 2 men defending, and there's a lucky fan who picked up a football, and now the field goal try.
Now, if I was the fan, I'd put it under that big hooded sweatshirt there, and I'd hide it. I mean, because those are rare. He's trying to get a ruling. Can I keep it, or do I got to give it back? I wouldn't listen to any ruling right there.
I think he's going to keep it.
Give it to the girlfriend and let her run up the stands with it.
Ryan Longwell to try a 32-yarder. And the kick is good. So the Vikings get 3 out of it, and Brooks Ballinger's first foray taking over at quarterback. That's exactly what he did, Brian. He put it under the sweatshirt. And, you know, he doesn't want to be on the big picture in the stadium, does he?
No, not now. He was before, but now that he's got a football. See, now you got an interference. You get the fans standing up to protect him right now.
Right.
See, he knows. That's good teamwork by the Viking fans. That's why you wear hoodies to the game, in case you get a lucky football in the stands.
That's good defense.
Good job by Brooks Ballinger. You know, you get your third quarterback out there, and they lead him to a drive.
Well, it's the first spark that the Vikings have shown in the aerial game. And, of course, you know, Peterson really ran well. Yeah, he was a good spark, too. And the Vikings were able to do that. Ryan Cook, their right tackle, suffered a shoulder injury, and Marcus Johnson replaced him. So with a replacement on the offensive line, the Vikings did pretty well there as Terrell Buckhalter goes back to receive the kick. 1:42 remaining in the third. And it's a 7-point game. Longwell with 2 field goals on the day. Buckhalter returning from the 4. And the Vikings are there as he gets to the 20, and that's all. Eric Frampton on the tackles. Flag is down, and a 17-yard return by Buckhalter. Looks like it's going to be against Philadelphia.
Holding, 55 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. Receivers will keep the ball. First down.
Stuart Bradley, and that'll set the Eagles back to the 10. So the Eagles in front in this game, and for Donovan McNabb, certainly coming out of the chute in impressive fashion after the Vikings scored the first touchdown of the game. And McNabb throwing or actually tossing one to Westbrook for 1 touchdown, and Westbrook going over for the other.
The Vikings defense have scored 9 defensive touchdowns in the last 2 years. I mean, this part of the field, this time of the game, this defense has risen to heights to be able to do that.
And 4 this year, nearly a third of their total touchdowns. McNabb getting away. It looked like he might have been sacked, and down he goes, dragged down by Kenichi Udeza inside the 10.
Well, that's the defense we're talking about, rising to the occasion and creating a play. Udezi's down here. I mean, he's just going to be chasing as McNabb leaves the pocket. Runyon's in good shape. They're double teaming him. McNabb doesn't like what he sees down the field, and at one point he could run away from a defensive end like Udezi. He can't run away from defensive ends anymore.
Second sack for the Vikings, 2nd and 12. Handoff, Westbrook. And a great stop made from behind by Kevin Williams. 4 touchdowns this season by this defensive unit.
Kevin Williams with 1. Antoine Winfield, Ray Edwards off of a fumble. And then last week, Winfield knocked the ball loose. Ben Lieber picked it up. He lateraled to Cedric Griffin. Does a little Deion Sanders dance into the end zone. They had a chance to beat the Cowboys in Dallas last week.
They were up at the half.
And the crowd is like they should be right now. They should be cranked up after the performance so far here.
3rd and 11. Back on the 2, and the pass caught by Buckhalter, and he dives for the first down. Great alert play as McNabb had enough time, and Buckhalter ducked under for the first down, getting 12.
It's a great play by McNabb, just being able to get this ball off. You see Buckhalter here is just on what you call a check down.
And a first down, and if the Eagles win, they'll talk about that play as being one of the keys. That's the end of the 3rd with the score. The Eagles 20 and the Vikings 13. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. And we begin the 4th quarter here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Dick Stockton along with Brian Baldinger, Don Mitchell down on the field, and the Eagles with a 7-point lead over Minnesota, just getting a huge first down. Instead of a punt from the end zone, they have a first down at the 21, leading by 7. McNabb is 18 of 27, a touchdown, 259 yardage. Hands off Westbrook. And nothing there with Spencer Johnson on the tackle. Give him 1.
Vikings are built strong up the middle. It starts with the Williams. Pat and Kevin Williams up the middle. Then the middle linebacker, E.J. Henderson. And the back end is Darren Sharper. And then you always have to account for Antoine Winfield at corner because he's such a good tackler. Many Sundays you look at the play-by-play sheets at the end of the game, and Antoine Winfield will lead this team in tackles from the cornerback position.
Eagles have gained 55 yards rushing. Vikings have given up 76 yards rushing a game. 2nd and 9. And again they go to Brian Westbrook. And Westbrook is bottled up at the 24, picking up 2 yards. Jamie Mitchell that time. Let's take a look at what the Eagle offensive people have done in this game.
I imagine McNabb has been strong today, completing 2/3 of his passes. Got the touchdown in the red zone, the shovel pass to that man Westbrook. Westbrook with a couple of touchdowns today.
Reggie Brown having the best game of his season by far. 3rd and 7. Tight formation. McNabb flips it away, trying to get it to Curtis, almost in a desperation situation. Ben Lieber had him from behind, and it's 4th down.
Well, the Viking linebackers play up in the line of scrimmage. Kevin Williams is on the nose. They run a little stunt there. Sean Andrews passes on Kevin Williams. Some good hand fighting right there. Sean Andrews and Kevin Williams, both from the state of Arkansas. Grew up about 30 miles apart from one another.
Sav Rocca punting on 4th down. A great kick, sending Bobby Wade back inside the 15. Hang time nearly 5.5. That's the great. And Wade, wending his way upfield, returns to the 30-yard line where Matt McCoy brings him down. A 17-yard return by Wade. So now the Vikings have another opportunity. Back here in Minneapolis, and of course this game, the first time that these two great friends and coaching associates for so many years, Andy Reid, the head coach of the Eagles, and now Brad Childress of the Vikings. He was his offensive coordinator, worked in Philadelphia for 7 years. Brooks Baldinger, the unlikely quarterback today, takes off and gets a first down to the 41-yard line with a good slide there. And it's amazing, Brian, about how the two got associated and how Brad Childress got to coach in Philadelphia.
Well, you know, Brad Childress hired Andy Reid in 1986 at Northern Arizona to be his offensive coordinator. And when Andy Reid was coaching in Green Bay, Brad was coaching at Wisconsin. Brad one year was at the Rose Bowl taking his Wisconsin team there. Andy Reid was there with Green Bay. And they lost a playoff game to San Francisco when T.O. caught the touchdown pass and knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. That brought them together. T.O.
First down, play action. Ballinger's throw to Wade, and he's got it at the 45. 15-yard pass to Bobby Wade, and Lito Shepherd on the tackle, and Wade is shaken up. Former Chicago Bear is down.
Bobby Wade running a dig route on Lito Shepherd. Takes a shot from Quentin Michael to knock him down.
Bobby Wade leaves the game and replaced by the rookie Sidney Rice. First down at the 45 as the Vikings in Eagle territory. Here's Peterson going outside. Adrian Peterson finally pushed out of bounds by Sheldon Brown, and there's a penalty flag down. 22-yard pickup.
Holding. Holding. 81. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Asante Shanko with a hold erases that beautiful run by Peterson.
Here's Shanko coming out here on the outside. Going to throw the key block here. Yeah, well, his hands looked like they were inside on the chest of Sean Considine, which would be legal.
Yeah, that was a hold, and so they'll send it back now to the 46-yard line, and Chris Gokong is hurt. And you were telling us about, again, a very interesting story about when Brad Childress was watching the game on television, getting ready for the Rose Bowl.
That's right. Well, Brad was out there coaching Wisconsin at the Rose Bowl. Andy was coaching Green Bay in San Francisco against the 49ers. And if you remember that playoff game, T.O., that's when he burst on the scene. Caught that pass in the end zone against the Packers, and it killed the Packers' chance. Their playoff chances were dead. If T.O. did not catch that pass in the end zone that day, Andy Reid said he never would have gotten an interview from Jeff Lurie because they would have still been in the playoffs. Andy Reid wouldn't have called Brad Childress. They never would have gotten together. Andy Reid may never have been the coach of the Eagles, and all because of T.O. It's the 6 degrees.
And whoever knew that T.O. would figure in their relationship long before he did, when he became a wide receiver with the Eagles.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes all the way back from the genesis, from the start. And then when Andy got the job, his first guy that they drafted, of course, was Donovan McNabb, and Brad Childress drove from New York City, where Donovan McNabb was for the draft, put a playbook in his hand in the limo, and had him studying the playbook on the way home.
Bobby Wade is back in there. Stuart Bradley has gone in replacing Gokong. First down at 19, and trying to get some of it back, and the pass is caught by Shanko. So Shanko gets a good chunk of it back after being called for the hold. He gets 12 yards back to the 42 of the Eagles.
Brooks Baldinger looks comfortable back there right now. I mean, he really looks like, he's taking his time. They're protecting him well. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and he's been decisive.
Ballinger is 5 for 7 for 57 yards, and it'll be second down and 7. But no question, Brian, he has delivered a big spark when Kelly Holcomb went out. Here is Adrian Peterson. Here's Peterson, one man to beat. And holding on for dear life, Quentin Michael makes a touchdown-saving tackle at the 25.
This guy does everything fast. This is about as quick a read and cut as you can make here. One step, bam. Now that hole did open up. But safety play against Adrian Peterson can be a nightmare in your sleep. Quentin Michael does a good job here of just getting his hands on him and slowing him up.
Gain of 17. And now Peterson has 75 yards rushing on the day. First down on the 25 of Philadelphia. And they're going to go to Peterson again, looking for running room. Bounces outside. And finally piled on with Jaquay Thomas, the lead man. They'll give him about a yard on the play with nearly 5 minutes gone by here in the fourth.
Adrian Peterson said the only game he's ever gotten tired in was his freshman year at Oklahoma, the first game he ever played. He said that was just nerves. But since that time, no matter how many times he's ever carried it or touched it in the game, he said he's never gotten fatigued.
Chester Taylor has replaced Peterson. 2nd and 9. Pressure on Baldinger and going deep and throwing it away. And that was a smart play by Baldinger, who was under siege from the Eagles defense. No new report, by the way, on Kelly Holcomb, who suffered a neck injury and had to leave the game on this play by Thomas.
Just the irony of all ironies is the Eagles were trying to figure out who to prepare for, whether it was going to be Kelly Holcomb, a teammate of theirs throughout the offseason and preseason, or Tavares Jackson. And instead it's Brooks Baldinger right now that has been moving this team in the second half today.
So nothing new on the Holcomb injury. 3rd and 9. Baldinger down, and Trent Cole coming in with another sack. That's his 2nd of the game and the 3rd by the Eagles.
Well, Trent Cole has a move that is hard to stop. Watch how low he gets underneath Bryant McKinney. But it's not just enough that he gets underneath him. He can still turn the corner, stay on his feet, which is very hard to do, Dick. I mean, I don't think you can try that. I wouldn't try that at home if I was you. You know, I mean, I think you'd just end up on the ground.
Tried it about 3 or 4 times, and you're right. It doesn't work. 48-yard field goal attempt coming up for Longwell. So they lost 6 on that play. And here's Longwell's kick. It's long enough, and it's good enough. The kick is good, and the Vikings have come to within 4, 20-16, with just under 9 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The Vikings trail the Eagles by 4, 20-16. Both of these teams 2-4, and in only 3 teams since 1970 have made the playoffs after starting the year 2-5. So we know the importance of this one. Longwell kicking off, and Buckhalter running up for the short kick at the 12. Runs into his own man and is taken down at about the 25.
You know, Andy Reid is known for his chart. Spends a lot of time preparing for it. So his is a little bit messy. But Brad Childress has a chart very much like Andy's. They kind of came up together. And I was studying these charts during the TV timeout, and I found that there's more runs on Brad Childress' chart than there is on Andy Reid's. You know, just a difference in philosophy about how to win games.
If you had Adrian Peterson, you would too have more
would have more runs. But, of course, Andy Reid does have Brian Westbrook, which isn't a bad guy to hand it off to, except that Westbrook on this play is in the slot with no running backs.
But we know Andy likes to throw. 1st and 10 at the 27. This is a big possession of this game. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Matt Schobel.
They go off somebody's helmet there.
This is a significant series right now for the Eagles to try to come back from that field goal that the Vikings got, and also for the Vikings to get more momentum with a stop.
Now the Eagles have only been able to put together one drive in the second half, a field goal by David Akers.
McNabb 18 of 29 for 259 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. 2nd and 10. Here is Westbrook. Flea flicker. And there is McNabb completing the pass to Reggie Brown up to the 42 and a 1st down. 15 yards, some trickery there, and it works.
I tell you, on both sides, because as soon as it was the throwback to McNabb, Darren Sharper turned and was ready for the deep pass, except Reggie Brown doesn't go all the way to the post. He comes back here. So it was really pretty creative on both sides. Watch Reggie Brown. Normally on this throwback, it's a long route. So see, both of them are getting ready. They're ready to double cover him deep like that. Andy Reid anticipated that and called the comeback.
8 catches for 105 yards for Reggie Brown. Breakout day for him this season today. And the pass swung out to Thomas Tapeh. And Tapeh going out of bounds at the 45. A pickup of 2.
See, now Darren Sharper has been just lurking back at free safety all day. Hasn't really made a big play. But he lives for the big plays. He's one of those cat burglars. And so he thought he might get one on the last play. But you can never underestimate him because he'll give up catches and plays for the big play, the interception. And this is a big play defense. They know a big play here could determine the outcome of this game.
2nd and 7. McNabb going to Curtis. And Curtis makes the catch off the hands of Cedric Griffin. Kevin Curtis hung in there and made the catch when it was first into the hands of Cedric Griffin, and a 31-yard first down.
Well, it's a one-handed catch all the way. Because the only hand he had was his right hand. He couldn't catch it with his left hand. He had his left hand bracing himself on the back of Cedric Griffin. What an incredible play.
And not that you would challenge that, because there was nothing there to challenge, but the Vikings are out of challenges. They were out early in the second half. So Curtis now 2 catches for 64 yards. First down on the 24 of the Vikings. And McNabb drills it, and the pass to Greg Lewis, and it's a catch and another Philadelphia first down outside the 10.
Well, McNabb has come back on this drive. Now his guys are helping him. Curtis makes a great catch. The receiver goes down and catches it up off the carpet. But that's what happens when the quarterback gets into a rhythm. All of a sudden, the receivers start responding. They get in the act and make incredible plays. And you need that for a quarterback. Quarterback needs that from his receiving corps. Those kind of plays.
And McNabb is in rhythm right now. Those are his numbers. Pretty big time for today for Donovan McNabb, including the red zone where the Eagles are right now. Quarterback draw, and McNabb is hit at about the 7 by Fred Evans. Give him 3.5 yards.
I think this is the first time this year that any broadcast team has done a game and not talked about Donovan coming back from an injury. Because I think it's passé. It's over. He's the quarterback. There's no, covering for him or anything like that. I mean, he's called a quarterback draw. I mean, Andy Reid thinks he's back from it. That's why he called that play. He can go get him 5 yards down inside the red zone when they need it.
2nd down and 6. The Eagles can get a first down if they get it inside the 2. Pressure on McNabb, and he's forced to throw it away. Had no other choices there.
No.
With great pressure by E.J. Henderson up the middle.
That's just smart. I mean, sometimes you just have to throw it away. And that's what you do. You don't put it up for grabs. There's no time to set your feet here. Just a good blitz by Henderson right in the A gap. See, when a quarterback is in shotgun, the guard, like Sean Andrews there, won't come down and take that away. They'll think in shotgun you can get rid of the ball before the blitz gets there.
Now, you remember when Reggie Brown caught the pass on the flea flicker, he kind of limped off the field. He has not been back since. And Greg Lewis came in for him. So it'll be 3rd down.
I think that you're looking at L.J. Smith right there. It'd be a good time to dial his number at this part of the field.
Came back this week, did not start, but has been a very reliable red zone target for Donovan McNabb. So it's 3rd down and 6.
Last second instructions from Donovan leaving the huddle late.
And McNabb's pass, and it's knocked away, incomplete, as Greg Lewis shaken up himself. Antoine Winfield digging for the ball, and Lewis is shaken up. This is moments after Reggie Brown had to come out of the game, and he's hurting.
Going to run the inside slant on Antoine Winfield. Well, Winfield not only tried to break that play up, he tried to scoop that in on an interception, all in one move.
So it'll be 4th down and 6 as the medics tend to Greg Lewis. Ball's on the 8.
Surprised that they went after Antoine Winfield on that play. He was playing with inside leverage, trying to take that slant away. Just thought there might be a better option if you're throwing it into the end zone.
Coming up next, Redskins at Patriots, the second half of our Fox Sunday doubleheader.
Patriots are on pace to break the Vikings' all-time season scoring record that was set here in Randy Moss's rookie year, 1998. team that went 15-1 but got beat by the Falcons in the playoffs.
So the injured receiver, Lewis, there's Reggie Brown, who had come off the field and had not come back.
Back and maybe get another look at what might have happened to Greg Lewis here. Good defensive play, ball thrown a little bit behind Lewis. Looks like he took a knee
from Sharper.
Darren Sharper, yeah. A knee from Sharper.
And the good fans of Minneapolis, the Minnesota area, giving Lewis a hand as he gets up and helped off the field.
Well, the significance of the play is it keeps the Eagles out of the end zone. And even if David Akers kicks this field goal, it's still just a one-score game. So good defensive effort by the Vikings to keep him in the game.
So here's Akers, who has kicked field goals from 20 and 27 yards today. This will be right in the same range as his previous two, about 25. Missed a 59-yarder at the end of the first half. So here's Akers, who has missed 4 field goals this year. On to try it from 25 yards out, and the kick is good. So the Eagles can lead by that touchdown margin, 23-16 over Brad Childress, Minnesota Vikings. Halloween this week. I don't think anything would scare you, would it, Brian?
No, but I think Halloween and football go together. Because some Sundays you can't tell if it's Halloween, just by the way that people get themselves excited for the game. I've never seen an Eagle fan, though, sit that civilly in an audience before like that next to a Viking fan.
Give it time. Troy Williamson returning from the 2-yard line as we near 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. And Williamson stopped from behind. The Eagles have had a lot of those tackles from behind to save longer runs, and that time it was Hank Baskett as Brooks Baldinger. And you had a great point. The Eagles came here not knowing whether it was going to be Tavares Jackson or Kelly Holcomb, and it ends up to be Baldinger in the crucial time of this game.
You know, and Baldinger is 2-7 as a starter lifetime, but he's never had a chance for a fourth quarter comeback. So I don't believe you ever arrive as a quarterback in this league, either as a backup or a starter, until you can bring your team from behind for a victory. And he gets that opportunity here this afternoon.
They're down by 7, the Vikings. Chris Gokong has returned to the strong side linebacker position for the Eagles. Play action from the 29-yard line with plenty of time. Bobby Wade with the catch and out of bounds at the 48-yard line. A gain of 20 to start it off for the Vikings.
But I know one guy that likes Brooks Baldinger at quarterback. It's Bobby Wade, because he's been involved in this offense since he came in. He is their team's leading receiver. But no team in the NFL has a receiver that leads the team in receptions with as few as what Bobby Wade came in with today.
4 catches, 53 yards. And a first down at the 48. Receivers to the left, man in motion, Adrian Peterson. Gets the handoff. And Trent Cole wouldn't let him get away. As you mentioned earlier, not just a good pass rusher, but terrific against the run as well.
And that's hard, because you've got to be disciplined. You just can't take off and just leave your assignment in your area to go tackle him.
Greg Lewis leaving the field. Second down and 16 on the Viking 42. Back in the game, Ryan Cook at right tackle for Minnesota. Play action and no chance. Javon Curse came in almost free, and the 3rd sack for the Eagles, and a big one there, make it the 4th for Philadelphia.
2 things by this Eagle defense today. The defensive ends have showed up, whether it's Cole, whether it's Jaquay Thomas, now Javon Curse. And together, they've done a great job of containing Adrian Peterson this afternoon. I mean, all the credit in the world to this Eagles defense, to Jim Johnson with the job after last week's collapse in the final 2 minutes.
3rd down and 21 for Minnesota. They've got to get it to the Eagles 42 to keep possession. And Baldinger can't find a receiver, and he is chased out of bounds by Takeo Spikes. That was great coverage downfield by the Eagles, and it will bring up 4th down.
I think Troy Williamson was the receiver on that side of the field, and when your quarterback scrambles like he was trying to buy time, the receiver has got to come back and help him out. Come back into his vision and give him a target to come back to, and they never did.
Well, the dilemma for the Vikings now is that they have to cough the ball up. They have only 1 timeout remaining. And, you know, Philadelphia is going to be, you would think, run the ball and use up the time. So Chris Kluwe will be kicking and Reno Mahe back. Kicking away from Mahe, and it takes a bounce at the 5, and it's bobbled into the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings had it down inside the 5, and it was Ben Lieber who couldn't hold on. It goes into the end zone, a touchback. They take it to the 20.
This is just a costly error and unnecessary. The ball's bouncing straight up in the air. There's no reason to come in. Your momentum is going to knock you in to the end zone. There's no reason to scramble. All you got to do at that point is get your body under control and literally fair catch the ball.
So a critical play when you consider what the Vikings have to face here, as the Eagles will start out from the 20-yard line. And the significance of this game, once again, for the Eagles, they've got the Dallas Cowboys coming up next week. That game would lose a lot of its importance if they were not winning this game. A loss here to 2-5. The Dallas game would be just a good game against the divisional foe. They get back in the race with a win if they hold on, and then can really make games against Dallas. First down at the 20. Reggie Brown back in there at the top.
Eagles got to concentrate on just putting this game away before they think about the Cowboys.
But we can talk about it. They're not thinking about it. And Westbrook is the guy to go for it and get that out to the 25. A gain of 5 as we check in with Dawn Mitchell.
Guys, Lewis hurt very much here on the sidelines. They're checking his heartbeat, but they say it's a ribs injury. He's going for x-rays right now to make sure it's not more serious, but he will not return to the game.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 2nd down and 5. Under 3 minutes remaining in the 4th.
Now they should use as much as the clock as they can. Where's that 25-second play clock? Way up there in the mezzanine section. Donovan should be looking at it and snapping this ball with about 2 seconds to go.
And it should be a running play.
It should be. It should be.
McNabb fires, and it's caught, and a big hit. Sharper puts the big hit on Kevin Curtis. Did not get out of bounds, and the clock continues to run. Check out the Eagles in the spotlight and what they've done today.
Well, I think the guys really showed up. First of all, McNabb has been huge. In the red zone, he came in completing 38%. Big difference today. L.J. Smith has been shut down, but Trent Cole has been a force start to finish.
And the clock is going to run down to the 2-minute warning. The Eagles have a first down on their 37. Vikings 1 timeout left. Right now looking good for the Eagles. We said that last week too. Hogan left the game, and Brooks Baldinger came in and gave the Vikings a spark. They got to 20-13, and then a field goal again by Longwell. It was a 4-point lead before Akers' field goal, and now the Eagles trying to run it out. 2 minutes remaining in the 4th. The Vikings have 1 timeout remaining. It's a first down, and hit behind the line of scrimmage is Brian Westbrook. And a loss on the play, Antoine Winfield losing 4.
Watch Pat Williams explode here. Jamal Jackson is looking this way, and Pat Williams comes right behind him.
And the Vikings have called their last timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 15. So no more timeouts for the Vikings. And for those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment, you will be leaving this game, and we will be switching you to the start of your game.
Ball security here on the Eagles' part is imperative. Nobody has forced and recovered more fumbles this year than the Minnesota Vikings. They know that's what their opportunity right here is to knock the ball loose. To a man in that Viking huddle, that's what they're talking about. Strips, knockouts, putting the hat on the ball, and they've got the players to do it. So security for whoever touches it with the Eagles is imperative.
Well, the Vikings have done a great job against the run as the Eagles managed only 60, but 383 yards passing by Donovan McNabb to a variety of receivers. The only touchdown scored by the Vikings was in their opening drive. Second down and 15. The Vikings are out of timeouts. Westbrook.
The clock is the enemy here, so even though there may be temptation to throw this ball here, you can't. You have to run as much time as you possibly can here on both these plays. In fact, Andy Reid might even want to call a timeout at the very last second just to make sure that they review ball handling and exactly what they're going to run. And I think Andy might be doing that here.
And the way the Eagles defense has gone today, Brian, their last stop was significant when the Vikings, had good field position. So they are in control, and there, you're absolutely right. The timeout is called by Philadelphia. So there it is, the Vikings out rushing the Eagles, but the Eagles doing it through the air. Donovan McNabb coming up big, as Brian said at the outset. He's got to be the man today, and he was. Westbrook with 2 touchdowns, and a great job done by the Eagle defense on Adrian Peterson, limiting him to 70 yards. Second lowest total of the year, had 63 against Dallas last week. Third down and 15. And here's Brian Westbrook, and down he goes as we get close to a minute. So if they hold on, huge win to go to 3-4 with the Dallas Cowboys and the Redskins. 2 division games coming up in the next 2 weeks for Dallas, and of course for the Eagles, and they have the game against New England coming up. Meanwhile, a home game against the San Diego Chargers next week for the Minnesota Vikings, who play 4 of the next 6 games at home.
And the Vikings have got to get some kind of stability out of the quarterback position. They got a little lift from Baldinger today, but that's the part of this team right now that is dragging them down.
Yeah, that's a team's second charge.
And the timeout called by the Eagles with 27 seconds left.
Tell you, this is the part of a game that a head coach worries the most about, because the Eagles have had chances to close games out this year, and they haven't. But scoring today started with Shanko in the opening drive. Westbrook got a shovel pass to tie it up that went high over the top to take the lead. Jaquay Thomas knocked out Kelly Holcomb. In came Brooks Baldinger in replacement, led him to a field goal. Ryan Longwell, and then made it, David Akers kicked the field goal there to make it a 7-point game. And here we are. Defense doing its job for Philadelphia all day.
Sav Rocca will kick with 27 seconds and no timeouts remaining. So Bobby Wade looking to use a lot of that 27 seconds to gain big ground. What a kick by Rocca, fielded at the 1 by Bobby Wade. And nothing but white jerseys there, and Wade goes down at the 10 with 15 seconds remaining. So a huge punt by Sav Rocca, the Australian, 64 yards. And of course the Vikings, as we've said, no timeouts remaining. And the Eagles seconds away from their 3rd win of the year.
This is a good win by the Eagles. It's a good win here. McNabb should feel good about himself. Didn't talk about his injury, his knee at all today. No need to. Played a good game, start to finish. And if the Eagles are going to get back in this race and start to stack wins together, this is the kind of games that Donovan has to have week to week. The defense has been solid all year long.
And the Eagles have really had a history under Andy Reid of big second halves of seasons. They have struggled in the first half, and they did again this year. Here is Baldinger, and his pass out to Chester Taylor. And Taylor is down, and that should be the last play of the game. We want to thank our crew led by producer Bob Stenner and director Sandy Grossman, our associate director Charles McDonald, and no way to stop the clock. That is the end of the game as Andy Reid going against Brad Childress for the first time. Long-time friends and coaches meet at midfield, and the final score, the Eagles 23 and the Vikings 16.